And well, let's get started. Hey horror freaks, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda. If this is the first time here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can get a notification every single time that I post a video, and I post every single week. As you can see from the title, today's video is going to be my full review with spoilers of American Horror Stories New York City, that is the 11th season. Now, as always, all my reviews are with spoilers. If you don't want them, just to see if this was worth it or not, on the description box down below, there you're going to find my spoiler-free review, because I'll even give you guys the two options. So given that little talk and disclaimer ahead, let's get into the video. This season premiered on October 19 on FX and was the next day available on Hulu. This was the first time on the show history that were 2 episodes per week instead of 1. So this is why it took, of course, way less time for this series to end. It ended yesterday on November 16. Now each episode were about 30 to 40 on the average time, which is the normal. With commercials, of course, it stands to almost an hour. Now this season followed the mysterious deaths and disappearance that ramp up in the city. Meanwhile, a doctor makes a frightening discovery and a local reporter becomes tomorrow's headline. Now, this season followed Patrick, who is a New York Police Department detective, and we have Gino, who is his partner, and he is a reporter. Now, Patrick, he hides from everybody that he has a partner and that he's homosexual, and he even has a wife. And Gino, on the other hand, is proud of his sexuality and his relationship, of course, with Patrick, and they are basically the protagonists. And being honest, the only characters that I actually like it throughout the season. Now, because of the disappearance and all these mysterious deaths, their worlds collide, and they both need to start working on this because, of course, something is happening. And on the same time, we have a doctor that is Hannah, that is portrayed by Billy Lord, and she is discovering this new virus that is very similar to viruses that are actually found on animals. Now, it's not a surprise, it's not a plot twist, it's not even hard to realize that, of course, the virus, it's what later will be called HIV or AIDS. The series starts in 1981 in New York City, and on 1981 it's the year that this epidemic started. So this is, in my opinion, the most realistic story of all this series, because of course, if you have watched previous seasons, you know that American Horror Story always takes some things that happen in real life and they will adjust to the plot or the situation. But in this case, they used something very real, and it was the discovery of this virus. They didn't have any treatments, they didn't know what the hell it was, and the major target was homosexual men, because it's one of the principal ways of getting it. It's through homosexual sexual interactions. So, of course, this is not a surprise what is happening. So this is not a plot twist. And the plot twist that was revealed at the last 5 minutes of last night's episode was that this man that they will call Big Daddy throughout the season, he's the representation of AIDS. From the very beginning, I knew that he wasn't human because he only appears to a certain group of people. Not everyone can see him. He appears and disappears. And I knew that he wasn't human. I saw him just like the Rubber Man on Murder House. But of course, we got the revelation of who was the Rubber Man half on the season, not on the ending. And of course, that was a huge shock and plot twist. Who the hell the Rubber Man was, and the whole thing behind it. Now, in the case of Big Daddy, that's the name of the character and the person, he is the personification of AIDS. He basically targets and follows the victims. Now, the problem with this season, because being honest, the only things that I liked was Patrick and Gino. I think that the characters were real good, and I was really sad with the outcome of these characters. But that was essentially it, because I didn't enjoy this season at all. I think that this was such a good story, poorly executed. They had so much potential between the story, everything that happened. They could have took real events, like characters based on real people, but they didn't. Know that they show on the first episode, they show some pictures of people of the gays community and the trans community. I know because I recognize the picture, but that's essentially the only thing that I saw that was like legit, that it happened and existed, besides of course the virus. But the problem here, it's the way that was done. The episodes were boring. They felt like clues that leads to nothing. Being honest, I saw this season on Monday. I saw the first 8 episodes. I decided to binge watch. I am so glad that I didn't did my review for each individual episode like I did last year with Double Feature and like I did with American Horror Stories. Being honest, I don't know what the hell could have been saying, because it definitely felt pointless. I watched the first episode. It's of course the introduction of the characters, very informative, of course. The second, all the way to the 8, almost the 9, nothing. Like, being honest, I watched all those episodes and I was so what I am watching, being honest, is a type of story that gives you so many questions that it gives you no answers. And this is, in my opinion, the biggest problem here. The ending was sad as hell, because eventually all the characters, they die except for one. Patrick dies. It's a very sad scene. Like, I think that Patrick and Gino, they both deserve it better. Patrick dies at the hospital because of course he gets infected. The last 5 minutes are this montage, very symbolic metaphors, full of metaphors. And this is when it's revealed the whole purpose of Big Daddy. We pass all the way to the 90s, and Gino basically sees every single person that he knows die because of this disease until is his moment. Like, we see him getting worse, going to the doctors. They basically did this for the symbolism. They create this graveyard and with a huge hole, and instead of being like just one person there, like they were all jumping, men's one behind the another, of course representing that they were dying very quickly and that everyone around him was dying. So he of course dies alone in his house. It's very sad. Like I said, for me it's a very sad story and very real, because I am, of course I can't talk for those people, but I am pretty sure that was as horrible as it was presented in those moments. I'm pretty sure. So he dies, of course, and the last man standing basically of the whole characters, it's Adam. He's a character that he's part of the lead cast, but being honest, I didn't care for him that much. He's the last one, and he is in Gino's funeral, and he kind of like turns to the camera and starts like looking, and the credits start rolling, and that's it. I was like, what the hell? Like, you mean to tell me that you did a season of this and you did nothing? You left people with so many questions. There were so many things that were without a conclusion. This definitely didn't have a proper ending and a closure. I think that definitely the worst part of this series is the closure and the last episode, because they don't know how to properly close a story. They need to kill them all in order for this to end. It happened with Freak Show. I remember on Freak Show, the majority of them die at the end, and it was like, but why? And same here, Double Feature, in my opinion, was awful. That ending, that was awful. And here, once again, I remember when I saw the posters, I was like, is this going to be good? I don't know. I didn't feel excited about this season, being completely honest, but I decided to give it a chance. I knew, of course, the whole backstory and plot, and I was like, okay, I can watch it, but definitely it wasn't it. Like, if Ryan Murphy wanted to do a show about this, he should have done it separately from American Horror Story. Like, I feel like trying to make it into this fictional universe make it so damn tight and not being able to explore and to really represent what this time period was and what happened, that it ended up being garbage, because that's what it was. And I am so disappointed because, like I said, I feel like this story had so much potential. If you want to watch something, this is not horror, but if you want to watch something that is actually good about all of this, the film Dallas Buyers Club. This film, it's with Jared Leto and Matthew McConaughey. Is that the way that it's pronounced? They both won Oscars for this film. So good. It's based on a real story. So good. Heartbreaking, but very good. So if you want to watch something that is properly done about all of this, go and watch that. Like I said, it's not horror, it's drama, but so worth it. But this one, I was expecting so much more. Now, personally, I feel like this is my end as an American Horror Story fan. I don't really see myself watching another season, watching American Horror Stories. I don't even think so. So I think that this is, for me, the last one. I can rewatch the first 4 seasons, even the 5th one, but that's it for me. Definitely for me, the downfall of American Horror Story started on season 6. And it's been awful ever since. I mean, the 8th and the 9th one were actually good. They were good. But this one's, they are not. And sadly, this is supposed to be coming 12 and 13 seasons. Like, this is not over. This is far from being over. So if you want to go and watch those seasons when they come out, go. But I'm staying here. Like, definitely, I can't do this anymore. It felt like torture, being honest, watching this. Not as much as double feature though. Definitely for me, double feature is worse than this season. Definitely they could have done it better. Now I will give it this one a 2 out of 5 and a 5 out of 10. Had a great cast. They had a good story and they just blew it. And that makes me sad, furious. It's like I definitely feel like I wasted my time watching this. But thankfully it's over. But well, I think that this is all for that review. I am sorry if this was a very negative review. I don't like that. I always like to at least see something good, but definitely I just can't. But on the bright side, tomorrow is going to be my review of The Menu. That I was actually invited on Tuesday to an early screening release on my local movie theater. That was my first invite. I had so much fun. I was really excited. I am very grateful for that opportunity, and I can't wait to see if they invite me once again for something else. But The Menu review will be coming tomorrow, and that one, trust me, it will be better. Definitely that review will be better than this. But well, let me know down below if you watched this, how do you felt? Have you ever watched other seasons? This one, if this was your first time watching American Horror Story, I am so sorry. Go and watch the others. Trust me, they're better. But how do you felt? How long have you been a fan? I have been a fan since 2013-14. And that time between Coven and Freak Show, is that what I started? But let me know your opinion. But well, thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to see you guys on my next video. Bye.